Hey Jews, my channel is dedicated to talking about reality, which is 5-dimensional, 3 physical, 1 spiritual, 1 time, from the Torah perspective, from Judaism perspective. Okay, because I think if we're looking at reality right now, which the year is 5,784, out of a possible 6,000, we're at the end of time, and reality is changing in a way. What's happening is the veil of secrecy over the lies in this world of lies, which the Torah calls a world of lies. This world has an end date, and it's this. That's like the absolute end date, and we are here. So we're at the end of time. Okay, so it's so important now, I think, that as people are looking around them and wondering what's going on, what's the new world order, even though they talk about it and they tell us the plans, and then it's as if like things are still normal. It's going on in the background. Okay, they're building the new world order, they're telling you about it, but yet there's like still this fallacy, there's still this dream matrix world going on where you're still going to football games and you're still celebrating July 4th as if your country's not being invaded, and we're still going to cafes and whatever here in Israel as if part of our family isn't being held hostage in the moment, and we have this weird war going on for however long, and nothing makes sense. Okay, and people are waking up, and there's millions. There's several different social media channels dedicated to like what's going on in Israel with the army and what happened to October 7th and all this stuff. Okay, so that's what my channel is. So I'm trying to give you some perspective from the Torah perspective, from Judaism, from our history, from our lineage, what was passed down to us, and especially this understanding that there are other people in the world. There are 70 nations in the world, and everybody is mixed up. Everyone's mixed in there together. Okay, but the nation of Israel over time, because we were commanded to keep separate, and we did for a lot of the time, and we didn't take on completely the other nations' cultures and ideologies and religions and spiritual practices, okay, until we get closer to the end of time and we see that as the exile from our land, okay, gets longer and longer, we go more and more away from the Torah into darkness. I talk about this all on my channel. I really want to. So when I always say things like, when I try to say wake up, basically I'm saying wake up, Jews, and come home to be the nation of Israel. What I'm saying is experience reality as a Jew. Okay, if you are mixed in with the 70 nations, understand that they come from other people, not where the Jews come from. The Jews have a different lineage. This information that we got in the Torah is true. Why do you think it starts Bereshit, in the beginning? Whose other books tell us how exactly creation was made and how that's relevant in all of the history of man, starting from Adam HaRishon, the first man. Okay, and then what happened there? What happened with the generations and the timeline, the actual real timeline that makes sense, that has nothing mixing, that isn't questionable. Okay, and tells us from what happened after the flood. There was Noah, and that there are other people in the world. And here's the lineage of Ham. These are the nations that come from Ham. And that Ham was cursed. And because he was cursed, he turned black. Him or his grandson, something that's definitely written in there. Okay, so these cursed people from Ham, they turned black. And I'm not saying that all black people are cursed, but they come from Ham. That's in the Torah. Okay, so it's ridiculous to have this discussion is if this lineage of Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, if the Jews were black or not. Okay? And so I'm not going to go into all of this, but just understand that we need to understand our history from a Torah perspective so we can understand our reality properly. And when I say come home, I mean come home to the nation of Israel. Come home to living like a Jew in your reality. Interact with your reality the way that the Torah tells us to interact with our reality. And when we do that, we will find peace, even just on a personal level. through the chaos, amidst the chaos, there will be peace. There won't be this delusional, everything's normal, nothing to see here, guys. Let's keep going to Taylor Swift's world tour like anybody cares. Like that, we don't see that it's satanic. Like we don't see that their music is satanic, and it's acting on your nervous system, your very nervous system, and keeping you in your sympathetic mode of your nervous system, okay, which is fight or flight. And from there, you're susceptible to so many things, okay, that are not peaceful. So we have a mixed multitude of people, all mixed in. We were commanded not to mix in, okay? And so you are a Jew in this reality, in this year, 5784, 2024. But perhaps you're not living like a Jew. I was never living like a Jew until like 6 years ago. And I can say, or 8 years ago, something like that, when I started to repent and come home. And what I mean about coming home is coming home to the nation of Israel. Coming home to understanding reality from the Jewish perspective. Understanding your lineage and your history properly from the Torah perspective. Where was God in the Holocaust? Well, it's explained if you look at it from the Torah perspective. Okay, so start understanding and living like a Jew. That's your free will choice in this reality. It is only to choose to live like a Jew or not. Okay, and I'm just saying it's a beautiful blessing to live like a Jew amongst this chaos. Okay, amongst the rumbles of war and the prophecies of famine. And the actual agenda for that, global scarcity. It's nice to know we have someone we can lean on, someone we can count on. And I'm saying someone, but obviously I mean God. I mean, let's just say, for the sake of argument, because I know you want to argue about this fact, well, what if that's delusional? I'm just brainwashing myself into thinking that there's a God, and that's delusional. It's delusional. When they tell you they want to lock you down to 15-minute cities, it's delusional to just keep going like everything's fine. When they've already shown us that they have no problem force vaccinating us, if it comes to that. If you yourself won't line up and just take the shot and, devil knows what will happen. Will that be a good decision or not? I guess we'll find out. We'll just take the shot. I mean, so you're brainwashed either way. I mean, are you really in control of your brain? Like, have we really sat down and thought about this? This is literally questions to ask yourself. Because how do you arrive at your belief system? You're heavily influenced, and a lot of it has to do with things that you're not even aware of, like controlling your nervous system and giving you the false choices that you think you have. Your only real choice is to choose to look for God and to know Him and to understand Him. He always says in the Torah that you need to learn. Why do you think you have to learn Torah? Because you have to learn about God. You don't have to just magically believe in Him or get to a certain point where everything kind of makes sense and then big leap of faith in the details. No such thing. Our whole history is here. And all the chachamim, all the very, very smart geniuses that came from the line of the Jews, genetic geniuses from Abraham, the most amazing genius in all of the world. At his time, he was, and probably at any time, he discovered God by looking into reality. Therefore, I mean, theoretically, we could also do that, and we don't even have to be as smart as him. First of all, because we come from him, so we have his genetics, so we are smart. But second of all, because it's all written down in the Torah, and it has been explained over the generations by all of our smartest people in our lineage that were inspired by God through prophetic wisdom that they had, because they had a higher spiritual level than us. Okay, so you can trust them. You can trust your lineage. And trust me right now when I say that as we go further towards the end of time, things gonna get crazy, okay? So you want somebody to be able to lean on, to know that somehow In the grand scheme of things, it's all going to be okay, either in this world or at least in the next world, because when our physical dimension of our reality runs out, either for us personally or as a nation or as a reality, something else goes on, and that's your spiritual essence, your soul, which is one dimension of your reality, and you may not be paying attention to it. So when I say come home in all my videos or whatever, I'm saying come home to be a Jew in this reality. Live like a Jew. Live like a Jew in this reality. Live at peace with your reality. Learn what it means to be a Jew. Okay, I think it was Rav Avigdor Miller who said that a Jew should know how to act by studying Mesilat Yesharim from the Ramchal. How should a Jew act? However, it's written down here. That's how a Jew should act. How should a Jew think? What should a Jew think? Whatever was written down for us in the Kuzari, and then I'll put this all in my description, by Rabbi Yehuda Levi, who loved Jews, loved Judaism, loved God, loved living as a Jew, and defended this ideology against every other ideology. Read that book and understand what it means to be a Jew and choose to be a Jew in this reality. Separate. We're not supposed to be mixed in, because the mixed multitude, okay, right now in Hebrew it's called Erev Rav, and we're told and we learn about Erev Rav. They have stuck themselves over time since the very minute we became a nation. They came out from Egypt with us, and they stuck themselves to us, and they're bringing us down. War. Okay, they're bringing us down all the time. Golden calf, big problem. State of Israel in the land of Israel with anti-Torah laws. That's Erev Rav. That's not Jewish. So I'm saying, like, the very best case scenario would be to be in the land of Israel, serving God, learning the Torah, trying to do the Torah, trying to live like we're supposed to. Okay, so like I said, how do you act? However, the Ramchal here in Mesilat Yesharim lays out for you, this is how you act as a Jew. How do you think? Like Rabbi Yehuda Levi put down there in the Kuzari, okay? And what should you feel? That's Chovot HaLevavot, okay? And I'll try and put that in my description too, but just understand that your only real choice in life is to choose to be a Jew. And it's a worthwhile choice. So when I say come home, I mean come home to the nation of Israel. I don't necessarily mean come home to the land of Israel. Okay? So like I said, if you're going to be a Torah observant Jew, always trying to grow in spirituality and your connection to God, then this is a great place to do that in Israel, because you're closer to God. Okay? Because this is the Holy Land. Okay? But understand, right now we have a bunch of mixed multitude, randos here, who have stuck themselves to the nation of Israel over our entire history, and they make us sin all the time, and they take us off the derech. They take us off the path of Torah. Okay, and how do we know? Because we're not in peace in our land. And they're also, I mean, just if we couldn't tell from reality, if we were delusional and thought that we had it good in our land, the Jews, the Torah observant Jews, God's people in the land of Israel, then we would have the Torah laws. Okay? But we don't have the Torah laws. We have anti-Torah laws, and it's clearly written in the Torah that if we don't follow the Torah in the land of Israel, we will get kicked out, and we will get punished, and God will lay his wrath down on us, and whatever you see going on. It's not peace, okay? It's not peace. It's not with the kingdom of David, and it's not with the temple, which if we had that, God would just be in our reality. But instead, we don't have that. We have this, the state of Israel, okay? So my point is that, look, if you are just starting to do tshuva, just starting to wake up to your Jewish identity, just starting to say, what's going on in our reality? What's this anti-Semitism? What was October 7th? What's going to happen? What's going to happen to us, Jews? Then it's time to, like I say, just start learning more, learning Torah, learning your history. Start listening to some classes on YouTube, you know, check out my classes, you know. And I often mention different rabbis in my classes. So I'm just saying, that's what I mean when I say come home. I mean, come home to the nation of Israel. Come home to your history, to your roots, to your inheritance, to connect to the lineage that has survived over time. I mean, I hear a lot I hear a lot of Reformed Jews and non-practicing Jews say like, well, we're a nation that endures. Like you can't get rid of the Jews. Like better people than you have tried. But it was for a reason. It was because we had the Torah. We had leaders who knew the Torah. And when you know the Torah, you know reality, and therefore you see the new world order before they have to come out and actually tell you, build back better. Before they actually come out and tell you Agenda 2030, Agenda 2020 is now Agenda 2030, guys. Get rid of your 15-minute cities and then actually start building them around you. Okay? They didn't have to get that far because we had leaders. And then what we do is repent, cry out to God, and He saves us. Okay? And it's not just us He saves. By doing that, saves the rest of the world. Keeps it kind of in a good way. So that's what I mean by come home.